forgiveness doesn't mean you have to deal with them in the same capacity because everyone doesn't deserve a second chance. Hey, it's me. So, this series will be a little different. It'll be about lessons and experiences where I've had an area of growth from it. This one specifically will be about forgiveness. We likely at some point had an interaction in our life. We needed to forgive someone else or wanted them to forgive us. Forgiveness can be tricky because we may get an apology, but nothing else changes. Forgiveness as just the words and not the action or behavior makes it empty. And maybe even more important, that everyone doesn't deserve our forgiveness. Sometimes it can be more about us than it is about them. So I had a fleeting friendship a while back, and sometimes I would think about how it ended and how she acted, and it would bother me. She acted like the victim, like I wronged her. But she had been taking advantage of my kindness for months. And eventually, I distanced myself from her. After so much time passed, I couldn't figure out why this would come into my mind and randomly bother me from time to time, especially since this wasn't a deep friendship. We weren't very close or had some great bond. It was really surface level. Eventually, I came to realize it had nothing to do with her. Many years before, there was a situation with someone I was really close with and bonded with, and I had let this person know what she was doing was upsetting to me at that time. I didn't tell her immediately. I thought she would resolve over time of how she was being inconsiderate to me. But when I did finally express where I was, it turned into her avoiding me. So, somewhere in my brain, my subconscious mind took note like, this really sucks. We don't want to feel this feeling of expressing yourself in a friendship, specifically with women, because it seems to make them feel uncomfortable and ignore you. So don't express yourself, just sweep it under the rug. With the surface level friendship, the real reason why it was bothering me wasn't because I actually wanted the friendship back. There was a pattern that I was repeating that I wasn't recognizing. And until I came to a resolution with myself about it, that friendship randomly bothered me. That was a weird thing for me personally because in romantic relationships, I could be this path thinker. Like, we grew up differently. You have different preferences and experiences. So we have to talk it out and learn each other. But that never transferred over to friendships for some reason. So when these friendships ended and they felt like the victim, but I had been sweeping my feelings under the rug of how inconsiderate they were for a long time, the fact that the friendship was one sided and I kept making excuses for them, there must be more to them, when the friendships were never great to begin with. And that irritation I was feeling all that time later realized it had nothing to do with them. And that pattern in my brain that basically told me to lose my voice. It was a core wound for me. Something that had a deep effect on me that I didn't even realize. The way my brain was handling it was unlogical. I didn't even realize this was a pattern. And now that I did, I can break the pattern. And in doing that, I have to take accountability for myself, for not expressing myself, for being a people pleaser, and seeing potential in areas that were never shown to me. So, part of that comes with forgiving myself for not realizing my own blind spots. In this particular situation, with the surface level friend, I knew that I didn't need to express myself to her. I didn't care for an apology, and I honestly didn't want to engage with her at all. Now, if you're in a situation where you do want to express yourself or engage with them and they give an apology, just make sure that they're actually embodying an apology. It shouldn't be just words, it should be action, it should be behavior that follows. If it's someone you have to be around, just know that forgiveness doesn't mean you have to deal with them in the same capacity. It doesn't mean they should remain in your life as they were, because everyone doesn't deserve a second chance. They may need to learn a lesson from the situation they had with you and use that experience that they learned on the next person, and you just move on from them. Instead, you can forgive yourself or learn the root cause, which is some type of habit you created from a situation that you didn't realize because it hurt you, and your subconscious mind wanted to protect you from further pain. And if those things don't fit your situation, know that time does not heal all. Intentionality does. Being intentional in your effort to release does. So, I had a spiritual life coach, and something that she said was forgiveness is not about justifying their behavior, it's for you. You've been carrying the burden and you need to release it energetically. So, for my situation, if I was wanting to express myself and receive an apology, I may never get it, which all of my power is then dependent on someone else's action. But instead, I gave forgiveness to myself, and more importantly, I recognized the pattern that created it so I could release it. Now I have resolution, so there is no irritation, anger, or animosity for me. And you may think, well, my situation is deeper or more complex. Well, the same thing can still apply. My situation took me some time. I didn't realize it overnight because time does not heal, intentionality does. Figure out what you want from the situation and express it. Release expectations so you can have a resolution and it won't weigh on you regardless of the outcome. Again, this won't happen overnight. You want to release the unhealthy subconscious process that this has brought on you, and it's not going to be easy. Doing the work to understand yourself and create a path of forgiveness and resolution to be able to truly move on for something takes time. I was watching this TV show and there was something really great said, and I feel like it relates to along the lines of this exact topic. And this was from the therapist on this show. And she said, reconciliation and resolution are two different concepts. If you're placing your healing on reconciliation, you may struggle until the day you die. You can't make another person come to the table to resolve. It takes one person to resolve, two people to reconcile. You can resolve and heal without any other person coming to the table, ever. Recognizing their choice isn't always about you. When people are not whole and they're in pain, you see evidence of it on their life. You may have been waiting, thinking you can't heal without them. You don't need them for that. It's great if it happens, but you can't wait on another person to set you free. Once you resolve within yourself, you'll be free. So I hope this topic and my lesson of growth may resonate with you and maybe help you to get to a better point of understanding within yourself. Thanks for listening.